Good to see you this Friday evening. Thanks for tuning in with us on WFMY Plus. I'm here to give you the latest updates as we just ended our weather impact alert day. That was in effect from 2 o'clock all the way until 8 o'clock this evening. But as you can see right behind me on the Greensboro Skycam, we have started to clear out. We're watching that cold front currently sweep by across our region. It's taking those shower chances and storm chances with it as it continues to kind of push toward our east and now move just along our coastline. Right now in Greensboro, due to those cooling showers, we're right back in the mid to upper 60s. Winds are out of the west northwest, bringing in that cooler air right behind the front, around 15 to 20 miles per hour. Plus those dew points that we saw earlier in the 60s are now significantly cooler. Right now feeling a little bit more dry in the 50s. A look at the satellite and radar, you can kind of see where this front is located right here, kind of moving toward the coastline, bringing in that first line that we saw well earlier this afternoon of scattered showers and even some thunderstorm chances. That really was our highest threat, was with that first line of showers and storms that came at around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, and bringing in all those clouds as well. Those clouds are also starting to move out of our area, but yes, you can see there are a couple of isolated secondary lines starting to form well behind the actual cold front. As we head into these next couple of hours, I do anticipate those will start to fizzle out across the region, but to our north, there still are plenty of warnings in place. This is in portions of Virginia and West Virginia and also in Washington, where there are still severe thunderstorm warnings and even a couple of tornado warnings, all in association with this same system. Same thing to our east and south. We're watching a couple of isolated showers and storms still move in along southeastern portions of North Carolina here toward Wilmington, and even in South Carolina right along the border. The edge near Myrtle Beach. You could see lots of cloud to ground lightning, and I'm sure in there just lots and lots of heavy rainfall from this system, continuing to bring in more and more moisture across the region. A live look at our radar for right now. We've been watching these scattered showers, the second kind of line start to form well behind the front, move out of our area. So since just in the last couple of minutes, we've been watching them leave Alamance, kind of push out of Guilford County, as well as they kind of drop in from our north, and also continue to kind of push toward our south and east over the next hour or two. Still could see maybe an isolated shower or two, but our severe level threat has dropped immensely just in the last couple of hours as this system has now passed through the area. Our tornado watch, again, that was canceled actually a little bit before 8 o'clock, right at around 7:40, but a tornado watch is still in effect for portions of Virginia, extending all the way northward and also into Washington. Severe thunderstorm watch is now in effect for portions of the coastline. Again, none of these in effect for us for the Triad, just going ahead and showing you where the system is, at least for right now, as it continues to kind of move east and eventually offshore later tonight. The severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 11 o'clock for our coastline. That extends not only for North Carolina, but also well into the coast of South Carolina as well. Now, zooming in a little bit more on the Triad, I kind of wanted to go through a couple of storm reports that I've seen from this system just in the last 6 hours. I haven't seen any particularly in the Triad, but some have gotten a little bit more close. So this one is actually in Fieldale, right here near Martinsville, very southern Virginia. There's actually a tree down across Appalachian Drive near Fieldale. Just to our south, right here south of Montgomery toward Wadesboro, in a city, Polkton, a tree down at Peachland, Polkton Road and Freedom Road. And this is a time, of course, estimated on radar that we saw just a couple of hours ago. Plus, here in southeastern North Carolina, right here toward Cerro Gordo, funnel cloud was also reported near a fire station. This was in association with that warning I also pointed out on air just in the last couple of hours that also got expired in southeastern North Carolina. So we have been seeing several storm reports across the area, most of which have been over wind damage and even a little bit of hail that we've seen across the region. You could see well to our south, plenty of storm reports for wind damage in portions of South Carolina and also in Georgia, with some high wind storm reports as well. To our north, wind damage and even a couple of funnel clouds have also been reported, which makes sense given how many warnings right now are ongoing with those tornado warnings to our north. Now I want to show you something kind of interesting here. Here's a look at our water vapor map. I wanted to show you this because with a cold front and with those dews currently dropping across the area with drier air on the way, Here's the actual cold front right here starting to push in across the area. You can see all of the moisture in association with it right here on this water vapor map. And it is so, you can basically cut this with a knife. It is so clearly to see how much of that dry air and where it is coming at this moment into portions of the Triad, not only us, but also in the Carolinas and also into Atlanta, Georgia, starting to drop in across the area just the last several hours from this cold front slowly making its way through our area. We still have that flash flooding risk into the night tonight. I'm sure if we see any isolated showers, especially on top of yesterday's rain, could certainly be a problem. So we're going to talk a little bit about how much rainfall we saw just yesterday. In some places really didn't see all that much, but when you have a lot of rain and a lot of storms in a very short amount of time at a specific location, it really can cause a lot of issues, which is why we had flash flood warnings all over the place just last night. So rainfall yesterday across the board, around ½ an inch here in Lexington, here in Davidson County, around the same here in Greensboro, up to around an inch or so in Burlington, around ¼ of an inch in Asheboro, just under that, ½ an inch here in Siler City, and then toward Albemarle, boom. This is where we had almost 2 inches of rainfall, and it was all due to the fact that we kind of had this line of showers and storms that kept redeveloping right over Albemarle, just dumping tons and tons of rainfall over a very short span of time. Hence why you see 1.86 here in Albemarle versus other areas really didn't see all that much, especially compared to over here its next door neighbor Salisbury only saw up to around 1/10 or so of rainfall. Statesville a little over ½ an inch, Hickory up to around ½ an inch. So let's kind of transition into what we've seen at least so far for the day today. Some places, again, going to see more than others as more scattered showers and storms have made their way across the area, some a little bit locally heavier than others as well. So out toward our west, only a couple of hundredths of an inch over here for Hickory, Statesville, and Wilkesboro. But for us in Greensboro, we got up to around ½ an inch of rainfall. Asheboro around 1/10 of an inch. Lexington, they were the winners, around an inch of rainfall, up to around ¼ of an inch in Albemarle and 0.4 in Burlington. And just to kind of compare this to where we've been for the last several months, just in the last couple of weeks, we really have received our fair share of rainfall, and it's been a couple months since we finally had kind of an excess amount of rainfall that we've seen. Just for March and April, we were well below average in the 1 to 3 inch range versus February, a little bit more above average, below average for January, December, November, and October. But back in September and August, that's when we really started to see the kind of bigger amounts of rainfall come through, and part of that was due to Helene. But since then, we haven't had really that many months of excess rainfall, but this was one of them. This doesn't include today's amount of rainfall. That's 6.5 inches. So the drought monitor that we've been showing you kind of every single week, of course they come out on Thursdays with new reports, has slowly been getting better. So we were in this moderate kind of tannish color that you can see toward the coastline for a very long time. And in the past couple of weeks, with the amount of rainfall that we've gotten, we've slowly been getting better. Still technically abnormally dry, at least for some of our counties, but I'm sure that'll continue to clear up as today's rainfall and yesterday's rainfall is factored into next week's drought monitor as well. So for right now in Burlington, I want to kind of show you what's going on. Still plenty of sunshine as that system starts to move in and out of the area. We're in the mid to upper 70s. High point, in the 60s. It is beautiful. Temperatures across the board, 64 in High Point, 68 in Asheboro, 71 right now in Lexington. And there go those dew points. We're currently watching them go from the more humid 60s and 70s that we saw yesterday, and here comes that cold front bringing in the much drier 40s and 50s for the next several hours. Highest wind gusts that we've seen so far today, and some severe storms really can get amped up to almost 55 to 60 miles per hour. Luckily, we didn't really see all that much in terms of severe storms with damaging wind gusts. So we only saw up to around 35 to 40 miles per hour. 37 was the highest wind gusts up here in Danville, 35 in Greensboro, 30 in Winston-Salem. And out toward our west, we had around 30 to 40 mile per hour highest wind gusts for Boone and also Jefferson there in the mountains. Of course, that makes more sense with the higher altitudes. Highest wind gusts for right now that we're seeing across the area only in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range, except for Danville, still seeing the upper 30s. Next 12 hours, we're slowly starting to clear out. Very slim rain chance for the next hour or two, clearing out overnight, and it's going to be a little bit cooler. We're going to be back into the 50s. Ahead of the 60s warming up into tomorrow. Again, that severe weather threat is over for the night tonight. And this is that system. It's continuing to kind of push offshore for the next several hours. Into tomorrow morning, we're kind of watching this upper level disturbance. That could bring us an isolated shower or two for tomorrow afternoon, perhaps into the evening, as you can see right here on our futurecast. But for the most part, I really am anticipating most of us are going to stay dry, not only for Saturday, but also for the day on Sunday as high pressure starts to build in from our north. That's going to work to keep us dry for the next several days, not only this weekend, but also into early next week. So kind of zooming in on this model, by the time we're into tomorrow morning, still plenty of sunshine, but notice into the afternoon, that's when we start to see that upper level disturbance bring in a couple of isolated showers, maybe even a storm or two, but I'm really not seeing much of a severe threat, especially in comparison to today. Heading into the afternoon and evening, also starting to clear up by the time we're into Saturday night and into the day on Sunday. So this is your weekend forecast, and I'm sure plenty of you are ready for the sunshine. We're back in the mid to upper 70s for both Saturday and into Sunday. Mainly dry conditions, isolated shower or storm for Saturday. Much lower chances by the time we're into Sunday afternoon and into the evening. Now, one thing I did want to talk about heading into this weekend was the beach forecast. Just in the next couple of days, a lot of people are heading to the coastline, so I wanted to go over this with you guys. Right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, we're going to be in the lower 80s. Overnight low is going to be in the 60s. Wrightsville Beach, where I used to call home for a couple of years, we were in the upper 70s and lower 80s for both Sunday and for Saturday. Plenty of sunshine. Let's go all the way north toward Emerald Isle. Upper 70s and lower 80s there as well. Going to be a beautiful weekend. I did want to show you this just real quick to show you the severe storm risk that we had for the day today. We really don't see this all that often. This enhanced risk, this level 3 out of 5 that you see here in orange, means numerous severe storms are going to be possible. They still have it for us right now, but I really think they are going to drop it here shortly, as they have continued to drop the other watches again across the area. Again, the biggest things that were with this storm that we had to keep an eye on were the hail as well as the damaging winds. And we've even seen a couple of funnel clouds to our north and even in southeastern North Carolina in association with this system. A quick look here at our live radar, where we've seen a couple of isolated showers kind of start to fizzle out. Maybe one just here in in Randolph County, trying to do something there, but it really is going to start to die down these next several hours as we finally start to dry out across the area. So here's a look at your full 7-day forecast. We're going to be back into the mid to upper 70s these next couple of days. Isolated storm or two possible Saturday afternoon and into the evening. By the time we're into Sunday, starting to dry out a bit, mid to upper 70s, right at around 80 degrees for Monday. Then we're starting to feel a little bit more like summer, mid to upper 80s, and we're nearing 90 degrees by Thursday of next week. Chad?
It's going to be, wow, almost 90 degrees. It's been a while since we've been up there.
Well, just a couple of days ago, we had the lowest high on record at 57 degrees. So going from 57 to kind of right back into summertime at 88, almost 90 degrees, it's going to be a little bit of a whiplash, I'm sure, for some folks. But you know what? It's that time of year. We have to get ready for it.
Right. It's like sometimes we're cold, sometimes we're hot, and we'll eventually even out until like the summer swelter, and we'll be there for a couple of months.
No,
right?
I'm sure. And I am excited for that. I really am.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of folks are really, really happy about the cooler temps. At least for now, they're like holding on. They're like, oh my goodness, yeah, this is the time to enjoy it, because the heat is coming and it's coming back soon. It's on the horizon.
Very soon, yeah. And speaking of the horizon, did you see on social media a lot of people taking pictures of the rainbows tonight?
Oh yes. Oh, it's been beautiful, and that makes a lot of sense. There's been a lot of little isolated showers. You can get some nice, pretty rainbows, double rainbow photos too.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering about, because we have so many of our coworkers who are at the beach this weekend.
Yeah.
And looks like it's going to be beautiful for the weekend.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Upper 70s, lower 80s with a nice little sea breeze too. Very low rain chances. I mean, you can't really ask for much more, especially late May. It's not too hot. you know, some days at the beach, which, you know, I lived at the beach for a while, are just like, you know, like you said, sweltering, like just so hot, you know, when it's in the 80s and 90s, but 80s, 70s, that's like the perfect combination for the beach.
The Shibumis love that weather too, right? The teal and blue, I don't even know what to call them.
I never even owned a Shibumi, and I should have. I missed it.
You don't have to, because everyone at the beach owns a Shibumi. You don't even need one.
Right,
you just
maybe I'll
go
just
share
rent
one with
out.
them. That's right. Well, Claire, thank you so much for keeping us in the loop during this severe weather event, and let's hope we don't have one for a while, right?
At least not for the next week or two.
That's right. All right, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here at 11. Have a good night.
See you.